Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, and as Southside says there, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight we've been joined by young JM, and making his debut to the young team is our own AK. How are we doing, AK?
A young team? Oh, Christ, it's been ages since I've been called that, GB. Evening, GB, evening, JM, the techie team and everybody that's listening.
As Stevie says, make sure you bring your tequila rose. JM, how we doing, mate? AK was on obviously at the weekend, so I'm kind of eager to get your thoughts on the game and again, kind of probably just your highlights, mate. But how's things first, anyway?
Yeah, evening, guys. Yeah, good. Thanks. Good. Better after a more positive result after a pretty depressing week, to be honest. But yeah, no better. Good to be on with you both. And yeah, good result Sunday, wasn't it?
It was, mate. It was, and it was. I got to admit, AK, you can probably come in this question as well. I got to admit, on the run up to the game, I was kind of half and half, and yeah, I wasn't overly bothered, if you mean, just because of the way the kind of league had went. But I got to admit, by the end of the game, I was actually quite happy and glad we were through to a final. AK, your thoughts on that?
I don't know how to take that. Oh no, man. Come on, you dust yourself down, you look forward to it. There's thousands of bears showing up there expecting a win. So no, you've just got to get on with it, you know. You can't feel sorry and look back for yourself. It's the attitude that the players, they need to show that to, and they need to go out there with the heart and desire to get us to a cup final. But they accomplished their goal, so we've got a Scottish Cup final to look forward to. We part of that, and then we can focus back in the league.
No, JM, I think that, it wasn't so much that I wasn't looking forward to seeing Rangers. It was more like the way the team had went. Like I was more disappointed in how they were playing, and I was hoping that, like I said, I would see a reaction. And granted, they did. JM?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the way I would put it is I wasn't excited to watch as like maybe I would have been. In fact, it's going a little while back now, I think about it, but maybe, a month or so ago, whenever you're excited to watch again, you're expectant, and you're thinking, there'd been a change, whereas that wasn't there. I always thought we were going to win the game. I thought it came at a good time because I back us against every team, maybe apart from them. I think when you get to Hampden on the big pitch and neutral, I believe we become stronger favourites than we already would be. So I was always confident going into the game that would win despite the performance, and yeah, it came out like that in the end, didn't it?
What was your thoughts, JM, on the kind of team selection with Golson getting dropped? Do you think that says the manager saying it was really down to sickness and that Balogun came back in because he couldn't rest Golson during the week? But big call for the manager right away when you seen the team sheet come out.
Yeah, a pleasant surprise. The fact that obviously maybe he's watching stuff, like he's always going to have an answer of that. I think similar to his post-match interviews, the manager previously. Anyone that thinks any manager is going to come out and slate individual his team are just mental, in my opinion. And I think he had to do something to react, didn't he? Because if he didn't react after two poor performances, then people would have started questioning if it didn't go the right way. Or was I surprised it was Goldson and not Suter? Maybe just because of the personnel, not on performance. I don't think Suter deserved to be dropped by any means. But no, was shocked to see it, but also happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and a quick start, JM, for the team. That's his big Desser's actually been clinical, and I think Linda touched on it last night, scoring with his left foot, and again, just the build-up play to that was just fast, a bit of drive, again with Tav back to his kind of best there, and again Cantwell looking lively right away, and he plays it in the Dessers, and I got to admit he'd done the guy a dillion, didn't he? He'd done him and then just popped it away with his left. Great start to the game.
Yeah, no, we started quick, didn't we? Even like we looked a little bit on the front foot. However, Tab reacted quickly to the second ball, which I think we've been accused of, especially the last couple of weeks, of not really reacting to him. So Tab, I don't know the player he'd done on the tackle, but he was being fouled and still managed to get up and get the ball. So good hunger from the skipper. Cantwell done what Cantwell had to do, a good solid ball, and then credit goes to Dessers there because he turned a solid half chance and put it away, didn't he? And he'd been critical before. He'd had a chance earlier in the game. I actually think McCoy's on commentary was a little bit harsh. I didn't see that as a sitter. The first chance, I thought it comes at you quick, it's behind you. Maybe you could do a bit better to put it on target, but no mistake with the second chance. He done well.
Mm-hmm. And then look at it with Pashon, and it was really Hearts that run about the 20-minute mark. They get that kind of the shot near post. Butland gets to it, and then the next minute, in the 24 mark, they kind of get that offside chance, didn't they? Again, Butland showing his qualities, Jim.
Yeah, we struggled to retain the ball for a bit, didn't we? We just didn't. We kept letting them into it. They were getting confident. We weren't recycling the ball. It weren't sticking up front. Lundstrom and people were giving it away. Maybe Seamer coming off broke a bit of rhythm. But to be honest, I thought Ross McCausland came on right away, and you wouldn't have noticed much difference. He done all right, but we just didn't get any rhythm after it. We didn't kick on as you'd maybe like after getting a quick goal. I thought maybe for that, if you like that sort of that next bit after the goal, we've shown the form that maybe we've shown the last couple of games. We were looking a little bit half not rattled, but uncomfortable.
And it just coming yourself, AK. I know it says you were on Sunday, but were you, apart from kind of Tav's half chance, about the kind of half hour mark, were you surprised we went into the end of the first half just 1-0 up?
On the basis of chances, I don't think there was a great deal of chances for either team that I can recollect, GB. I thought we were pretty much in control of large parts of the game, but when it's only one goal in it, Hearts are always going to, be in the game and feel as if they're being, quite rightly so, because they're on a very good run of form themselves. So 1-0 at half time, I think we would have took that. But but the second half, when it started, you've touched on Big Suter made some dodgy decisions that kind of gave Hearts the impetus to break a back line and give them hope for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Jim, you want to add on that? Because he had these week. He does like to have a wee kind of bomb scared, doesn't he, old Suter? But I don't know what it is. The actual defence was looking pretty solid. I felt actually Balogun helped Tav a wee bit as well. It seemed to. Don't know if it was just because sometimes Tav and Golson talk too much to each other that they can probably confuse each other. Whereas I think Balogun's just there to do his job, and Tav's got that kind of ability just to kind of communicate to one person and they'll take orders kind of thing. I felt the defence was looking solid, but then, like AK says, Suter does pop up with a kind of brain farts, as they say.
Yeah, answer the question. I'll just quickly mention Tav, but then go on to say, I thought Tav, apart from a couple of minutes spell in the second half where it was a couple of minutes, thought Tav Warner was pretty good, came in and cut out a cross, came well, good defender. Even though, if you're being fair, I think Hearts made a little bit of a mess of it, really. But if Tav wasn't there making it harder, they wouldn't have made the mess, and they probably would have got a free shot on goal, middle of the goal. And yeah, I think I mentioned it last week when I was on with Ox and Lynn, and we were talking about it a little bit. He's just got that in him, Suter, hasn't he? He's got it in him, and it's not, even though he's strung together at times, especially that run we went on with Goldson, he put together, some really good games. But it's weird, even though he looks it, you never feel 100% comfortable. He's got it in him, and a couple of times really quickly there, mistake with the ball caught, and then also for the first one when he got caught with the ball, once he had made the mistake, not just booting it out the pitch, put your toe for it and make sure it goes away. He's tried the dribble. I don't know. I think there is still this. I think we spoke about it before the Old Firm game and he had a good game there. But it's about, maybe it's just belief, and he needs to start believing that he deserves to be in that position, and then nerves will go away.
AK, do you think it's a wee bit with Suter? He's maybe trying too hard, or is it just that's in his game and he's just going to have to get it out? Because maybe joining Rangers, he's got try to show he's got a point to prove, and that coming for Hearts. But do you think sometimes he just sometimes when he goes into challenges, he just fly into them rather than just kind of keeping the heat a wee bit?
Aye, possibly, Gary. Possibly, mate. He's one of us, obviously. He's been brought up a Rangers supporter, so he's obviously desperate to impress, and he has had a good season, to be fair to him. He does have their moments, but so does the best centre halves in the world. You know, Van Dijk and that can have one of their moments as well. But it's just if you give that wee inch, you know, I don't know what's the word for it, for Hearts to kind of come back into it. You know what I mean? You don't need that. You just cut out the silly errors and just make it simple and make your passes simple if you can. If you feel you're under pressure with the ball, don't try anything fancy, is what I am suggesting there. Just put it at the park, regroup, reshape, and then you're in your defensive position. But no, Shooter can be chuffed with how he's contributed to the season, the team this year. So.
I know, I agree. Jim, I think that as much as Suter did have, let's say, the wee moments, it was good to see the defence kind of come to his rescue a wee bit. I mean, I think Tav dug him out for the first one, I think. And they seem to all be, like I say, fighting to make sure that there isn't going to be a goal, which, considering the last couple of games we were asking if they were playing as a team, they kind of moments, they showed that they stood up and worked together to work the problem out.
Yeah, 100%. And then it's amazing one man or ever, just maybe a vibe or mentality change, you know, actually kind of blocking stuff and stopping stuff, which a defender should do. Basics, not letting it bounce, getting in front of him. You know, I didn't know our right centre halves were allowed to get out of first gear on a running thing. You see Balogun stretch his legs a couple of times and run and stop things. It was refreshing to see. Obviously, you want to be careful. These things can happen. Balogun's also came in maybe with a point to prove, and players can do that. But to be fair, every time he has came in, I remember when he was thrown in out of nowhere away at Dundee as well, wasn't it? And he was immense there as well, and he's been thrown in a couple of times. So maybe he's a bit aggrieved of not getting a consistent start as well, and he's been proving a point. But if we get a performance like that for the remaining 6 games now, we won't be too far away.
And talking about power and individuals and stuff like that, Big Sterling on that left side, he was fantastic. He just that running about that 67-minute mark when he's running up that wing, and he had that I can't remember the boy's name, the Hearts boy had his arms practically around Sterling and just basically just ragdolled him off him and got away and got that near post shot away. Now, granted, I think the commentary, JM was saying that he should have probably maybe passed it or whatever, but I don't know. I think the boys earned enough to take a shot on and maybe, like I say, show a bit of confidence that he's got that in him, that he could have maybe got a wee goal for us. You know what I mean? I think that says his performance, and once we get this boy settled into that team and we find the position that's going to be best for him, it'll be some asset for us.
Yeah, 100%. Again, I thought the commentary was maybe a touch of it when I watched it back, because obviously you hear the commentary and he goes, and you're waiting for the replay and you go, let's see what he's missed out there. And none of them made it obvious. It wasn't like Silva had ran too far and Des was there. So I don't blame him for having a shot there. He had the right to, and if it goes in, you're saying it's clever, isn't it? But, you know, considering that's him playing, he's probably got 2 or 3 comfortable positions, and this is left back, his 4th, and it's his most uncomfortable position, and he still looks good there. So what a talent it is, and I bet you he's just chomping it a bit to get a consistent start somewhere where he's really 100% comfortable on the pitch.
Hey, Kel, just come back into yourself with this kind of point. Just with Sterling, I think it's vital, especially coming into next season, that we find a position for this boy and we'll let him flourish.
Aye, well, he's already proven his worth to the team. He's proven his worth to the manager, the utility attributes that he has. He's sail, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's direct. That's what you're looking for in a player in basically any position. I'm feeling that he's going to have more influence on our team in the midfield area myself. I think as a fullback, he doesn't carry the attributes going forward that, say, Tavernier does. He doesn't have the delivery that Borna does on the left either. So I think you try and fit him in. I don't know where he'll hold down a place. It just depends on the recruitment that we've got at the turn before we start the new season. But I think you try and find... He might be the future, your CDM, you know, your Lundstrom role. He might be that guy, and possibly development even further. into a role that Rice does for Arsenal. You know, he gave him freedom to carry forward. He might develop that in his game as well, Gary. So, it's exciting looking at him, and hopefully his best years in front of him playing for us.
And Jay, that's a good point. And it might just be that player in the squad that is the versatile player that as AK says, it might not be hodding down a place week in, week out, but he will be that guy that can slot in to kind of help rotate certain positions, because let's face it, I don't think we've got a big, huge war chest waiting for us in the summer. So I think he will be a good player to be versatile and, like I says, maybe help out when maybe that player that is holding down the position, he can just slot in and give him a kind of, like I says, a wee bit of a breather.
Yeah, 100%. I think what you're saying as well. Like I said, I think with the war chest and the recruitment and that, I think best case it'd be a few windows, in my opinion, before we're going to be able to get midfielders that are going to consistently keep Sterling out the team, because I think he's got a lot of attributes that definitely suit our league. So, and also maybe find a way. So I think he's got an opportunity if he improves. Clement get a hold of him, and that's if the manager thinks that's his best position. If they work on it with his pace and power, and by the way, he's got good ability as well. I agree with what AK said. He doesn't seem a sort of natural put the ball in front of him and whip it in sort of player. He's more of maybe a ball carrier and can run straight and powerful. So I'd like to see him consistent. I'd like to see him get a good runner playing at centre midfield. I agree. We don't know who we're going to sign, but I'd be happy to see him start next season or start the rest of his games in the centre of midfield. At least you're getting some fight and a bit of power and pace. You know what I mean? But obviously, maybe the options at left back might determine that he might not get in there.
No, it will be. It will be interesting to see what his future holds. I mean, his future is definitely with Rangers, hopefully, possibly even maybe getting that right side position in time once Tav's, so that says maybe legs give out more. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure the manager's looking at it anyway, and he knows that he's got a player there. But again, Jim, just to jump back to the kind of thoughts in the game, running about I think it was about the 75, 77 minute mark, wasn't it? The second goal comes, and I don't know about you, when I seen Todd Cantwell running through, he had 3 players with him, but I felt if he could break away and he could get the shot off, I was shouting at the telly for him to shoot. What about you?
Yeah, I thought he was going to take, because he had that much space and he had done well to sort of get away from him, didn't he? He showed he was fitter than the guys that were chasing him. And I just thought, well, when he got sort of 20 yards out, I thought that was a chance. And I thought, to be honest, I thought he'd overran it. I didn't notice Dessa's coming. I thought he'd overran it. And then, he got not the best ball out. It probably threw Dessa's a little bit wide, but after a good bit of skill, to be fair. And then, yeah, fair play to Dessa's. Didn't an all right shot, a standard save from Gordon. He should save it, but then followed up well and got a bit of luck.
I did like how he composed himself for the second shot, Jim. I think, let's say, he could have probably, the way his form had been, he could probably have panicked with that one and maybe blazed it out of the bar. But again, calm and composed, that's all we asked for him. That's all we asked that the guy does. Calm and composed and pat the goal away. And when you look at it overall, his 2 goals, finishing with the left foot, and I think even for the commentary side, they were gaining the plaudits. So they're clearly seeing something. We just need, us as fans, I think, just need to see it a wee bit more.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe it just shows him a little bit if he just concentrates more on actually hitting the target. Like, there were 2 shots, obviously, it was in the middle of the goal, but none of them went in the corners. They were hit low and hard and, a bit of luck. No deflection. They've gone in the net. Whereas you compare that back to the Ross County ones, first half, 1-0, and he's blazed one over the bar, maybe trying to be too cute. Maybe if you just concentrate on getting your knee over it, get it down, you've always got a chance of scoring if it's going on target. But no, hopefully that's the sign of things to come for the last 6 games there, and the big man can pick up a bit of form, because he did have some good form again, sort of at the start of this year, didn't he? And also, well, since Clement came in really as a whole, but then he went a few games without scoring, so hopefully he's back on it.
And nearly had his hat-trick, twice really, didn't he? Had the kind of chance right near the 90 minutes, and then, like I says, he was unselfish and put that one for Silva as well. Personally, he done the right thing, I think, with the Silva one, Jim. Silva was probably the better option at the time, I think.
Yeah, it was, and it also put that just because of the time as well. It wasn't 90+5. I know it's pretty, but you never know if they, because they went up and almost nicked one. If they nicked one, they're kind of still in the game. It was the right decision and the sort of the professional decision at the right time. And then I could watch it 50 times and not really know what happened to Silva there, to be honest. I don't know what happened, but it should have went in and it never did it.
AK, what happened? You tell us.
I think it's a JFK moment there, isn't it? It's who shot Silver? Where was the sniper in Hampden? I don't know. Me and Albert were bamboozled in Sunday just the same as everybody else. The more you watch it, you're like, what are you doing, Silver? Put that away. 3-0, game over. Don't know what you are.
Even if he fluffed it, I think AK, he could have just still swung his legs around and he could have guided that ball in the back of the net. It was that wide open for him. It was a shocker, unfortunately. But anyway, JM, we win the game 2-0 through to a final. Overall, a few good performances in there. You're man of the match, bud.
Between two, but I'm going to go a little dip just because of our frailties recently. I'm going to give it. Mine would be Balogun, but Dest is obviously scoring. Hard to give it away from Dest scoring 2 in a semi-final. And to be honest, we didn't create too much and a good goal, especially the first one. But because of our frailties, and again jumping back into a game when he hadn't played in ages, I'm also going to give it to Balogun.
AK, you want to remind us your man of the match, bud?
For me, Gary, I gave it to Cantwell. I thought Cantwell was outstanding. Balogun was superb. Dessers, I know, got it on the day. But I thought Cantwell was, he was the man. You remember our Scottish Cup final with Hearts many years ago? I think Gordon Jury, did he score 3 or 4 that day? Who did they give the man of the match to, though? Brian Laudrup ran the show. I thought Cantwell was our guy on Sunday there. Only my opinion.
No, that was actually JM touched on probably 2 that did deserve it with Balogun and Dessers, but I felt Cantwell was, AK, I agree, he was back to his best. He's going to be one of the players, AK, that I think if we get the right players round about him, he'll flourish. He seems to always flourish when the team are playing as a unit. But see the games that the defence is shaky and he's having to run all the way back and help cover and stuff like that, I don't think he influences it as much. See when he's got time and space and like I says, even I think big Diamande when he was helping him get through and stuff like that. I think he just needs good players running about him, and I think he'll flourish.
Aye, I hope you're right. We all hope you're right there, Gary. I think Diamande coming back into the team certainly helped to improve Cantwell, but was I going to say? I thought he was really good at linking up the play and closing the distances between the midfield and Dessers, because Dessers was getting isolated, or Roof before him. They were getting isolated far too much. So we had to close the gaps, and I thought Cantwell done that really well. Obviously, he started the season, he had a wee bit of the pettit lip because he was playing Lammers in that role, and and it didn't. He wanted to be that guy. He was getting shoved out to the right to accommodate him. Well, now Clements gave you your role. Take the responsibility on your shoulders and go out and prove why you want that role, and good enough for our team to have that role for the rest of the season. We've got 6 cup finals left now, Gary. 5 in the league and the big one at the end of the season. So it's big performances we need off everybody to know and in.
Aye, we said, Jim, I think that again, that's the thing, isn't it? It's after the Sunday there, that's it. This is kind of the home run now, isn't it? We've got the 6 games, win the 6, we've got a title and probably a treble at the end of it. I mean, it's all there for the players to do it now. We just have to make sure especially in the league, we need to make sure we win all the games and score plenty of goals on the way.
Could have been a hell of a lot easier, couldn't it? But yeah. It is now, isn't it? And if that's the reset they needed, if that, Clement always said there'd be bumps along the way. If they're the bumps and they go and do it, show some character and go and do it. But being these players that there's no this is a third chance now, isn't it? There's no fourth or fifth chances now. They've got to win every game, and they've got to not only win every game, look like they want to win every game, because them two that week before was a disgrace, wasn't it? And they've got to get back to how they were before that.
Mm-hmm. Aye, definitely. I think what you say is there's no more get out of jail free cards. It's all or nothing now, which, to be honest, is quite good. It's a good position to be in the sense that you know what we've got in front of us and what we need to do. But it would be good to hear from a player's point of view. So since me and AK outvoted you, JM, we're going to hear from Mr. Todd Cantwell. So if you get yourselves on mute, we're going to hear from Cantwell. Here he is.
Todd, how does it feel to help the team obviously get to the Scottish Cup final, an Old Firm final to look forward to at Hampden?
Yeah, that was the plan. The plan was to come here and win, and mission success so far. So we're excited to get to another final.
What did you make of the overall performance today from Rangers overall?
I think we started well. The early goal helped us. Obviously, we had a tough week. We don't need reminding of that. So to start the game well like that, I think the first half was a pretty dominant display. They're a decent enough side, so in the second half they had a little bit of a spell. But again, you know, it's up to us to show our quality in certain moments, and I think we did that today.
Did it surprise you early in the game as you really seemed to find these wee pockets of space at the start of the match?
Yeah, it did a little bit. It wasn't something that I was expecting to have that much space at times. You know, obviously positionally and, you know, the way that we set up, we try and get me on the ball. Sometimes it's harder than other times because teams tend to drop off against us, so it's difficult. Obviously Hearts came here today to press us, and I think we're really confident and comfortable on the ball playing out, and I think that really shows in games like today.
Yeah. Perhaps after the last couple of results, how important was it to get that early goal, just to maybe give the team that wee bit of confidence going into the match today? Yeah,
I think it's important. I think, you know, I don't think any team would ever turn down an early goal. You know, it puts you in a good position. Like I say, I think it steadied us a little bit, and it made us a little bit calmer, maybe in the way that we played. The fans were a little bit easier with us as well. So, no, I was really happy with the first half.
Two excellent goals, of course, today from Cyril Dessers. Two excellent assists from yourself. So you must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've said it time and time again. You know, I'm in the team to try and make things happen. You know, the way teams set up, sometimes it can be difficult. But it's my responsibility to try and find a way, and today I did.
For the second goal in particular today, did you have any thoughts of taking it on yourself?
Yeah, it was in my head the whole time, to be honest. I heard and saw Cyril running out of the corner of my eye. And if I'm being completely honest, at that point, I hadn't had a chance to look up and look at the goal. So I heard him, saw him, and thought, please, Cyril, come and score this. But no, to be honest, I think in situations like that, I think I'm quite unselfish. I think I always look for the pass, but in a smart way. You know, I think they were all thinking I was going to shoot, so setting it to the side, he had a free shot on goal. I just wish he had scored first time round.
How pleased were you for Cyril today, coming back into the team, of course, to get his 2 goals? Had several chances and he creates a lot of chances as well. He's an unselfish player, so good to see that today.
100%. You know, Cyril will always work hard. He will always do what he's in the team to do. Listen, his numbers speak for himself. You know, there's a lot of talk about Cyril and the way that he plays, and you know, sometimes does it complement us the way that it should? And I think today's like today is just the evidence and the factual evidence that you need for it. You know, he's great for us. He works hard, he's a fantastic lad around the changing room, and he scores goals.
Yeah, and getting the second goal, of course, in front of the Rangers fans, it's important. It's important for them to get back to a final again, but they were great again today. Yeah,
no, they were fantastic. Like I said, the early goal really helped us. I think it helped them as well, if I'm being honest, because, you know, like I said, last week was disappointing, and there's no one more disappointed than the players in there than they were. So we understood that today there was only one outcome, and that was us winning the game.
Yeah, and just finally, how much are you looking forward to the challenges coming up now? Obviously, as the focus returns to the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, ironically, we've got finals every game now, because, you know, we have to win every single game, and if we do, we'll be in a good place at the end of it.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
That's it. It's your platform, so give us a call and give us your thoughts from the weekend, give us your thoughts on the current squad the now, and who you want to see, hopefully in the running. AK Cantwell speaks really well there. And to be fair to Cantwell, I know he sometimes has his up and down games, but 90% of the time, he's a player that, when he's in their squad, he just makes the team so much better.
He speaks very well there, JB. I thought it was an excellent interview, and he made a brilliant point there. actually too, with the early goal. It settled the nerves out of the crowd, the team, everything, changed the course of the game and put Hearts on the back foot. Maybe that's what we've been missing in the last couple of games, because we hadn't started well. We can't get round about that. If we start that every game from now at the end of the season with that intent, get the early goal, hopefully get an earlier second goal, that's what it's all about. Oxford said many times, Southside, everybody, goals change games. And with us getting the breakthrough so early in the game, 5 minutes, that scuppers their game plan and settles us down, because there's a lot of nerves coming for the stands, whether we like it or no. The players get nervous and it's no good for the performance of the team. But the players within the team still need to show responsibility and take that responsibility and carry it on into the game.
Mm-hmm. Jai, the thing is, we did, as AK says, we did start well. We got, I mean, as much as we talked about Dessler's first chance, it was a hard chance to finish. But again, we're right in the front foot for the get-go, and I think that says we're a better team. Usually, I think these teams that once they go behind, then it's a bit of an uphill task for them. And I think like the way we are, we kind of day settle into the game a wee bit better. Saying that, we did go 1-0 up at Ross County, so it's one of the ones we need to still see the game out. But I don't know about you, but see, against Hearts, for some reason, they always seem to be in control of the games.
Yeah, it's not, the early goals help, as AK spot on, the early goals help, but it's even about just starting to gain control. I mean, both the Ross County and the Dundee game, both of them could have scored in the first minute. That's definitely a team that not starting well. In both games, we could have been 1-0 down after the first minute. We started uncontrolled, didn't look in the game, gave the ball away cheaply early on and gave them a chance early on. So obviously it's about start. You're not always going to get the first goal that quickly, but obviously that helps. But like you say there about getting for us, and again, it's being greedy and presumptuous, but it's the second goal for us against these teams that kill it, because the first goal doesn't change their game plan a lot of the time. And you get that first one, I think we've got to not be naive and realise they're still going to sit back for 80 minutes and then try and nick a draw. It's about getting that first one and then killing the game and getting the second goal. And then they don't know what to do, because then it's a damage limitation, or do they try and get back in the game? And then that's when our quality would probably pick them off.
AK, to be fair to Todd Cantwell as well, right? He's, like you say, start the season with Beale and all that, being put on the bench against Kilmarnock, then Clermont comes in and he has that kind of moment where he gets hooked at half time as well in Europe. The boy comes back and he's got the right attitude. He's definitely, like I says, he's definitely a boy that wants to win for Rangers. And I think the manager had to drop Golson, because I think Cantwell looking in and seeing the form of certain players and wondering why they're not getting dropped, I think it might have created something in the dressing room. So I think it was really important that the manager did either drop somebody, like we said about either Suter, Tav or Golson, or even Lundstrom to a certain extent. Somebody had to get made an example of, I think, or else, like I say, it starts to get, I think for the Cantwell's point of view, I think he would be well within his rights to say to the manager, what's going on here? You pulled me for no playing right. Why, like I say, dropping these guys?
Aye, it's a fair point, GB. That's the thing with having a strong manager. Albert and I discussed that on Sunday when we heard the team, and we raised eyebrow when we seen Golson going out the team. But I think Clermont has been restricted somewhat on his team selections because he didn't have the ability to bargain through illness. He doesn't have a Ridvan to push Sterling into midfield. He didn't have Cortez, Diamondi. When you don't have the kind of guys, you're putting kind of like square pegs round holes, so to speak, and you need to try and juggle the pack as best as you can without disrupting the team too much. But you can't ignore the fact that Golson's made some glaring errors the last few games, as has Tavernier, as has Lundstrom, and there's been other ones kind of crept into their shell a wee bit. So I thought it was a strong decision that Clermont made. He needed to make that for the statement of the dressing room. I said on Sunday, there's only one gaffer in that dressing room, and so it should be. Walter didn't take any rubbish. McLeish, Advocate, Joe Wallace, Souness. You get right through all your managers. You need that figurehead in the dressing room, and he's the number one. You can't have players dictating a team selection and all that the way so-called it's happened in the past with Beale and other kind of weak managers. So because he had Balogun available, it gave him the option to drop or rest Golson. I had a feeling there, if, like say, Ridvan had made it, I think you could have seen Lundstrom also getting rested. So when Ridvan comes back, it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do with the rest of the team. But good on you, Clement. Really pleased for him.
So, Jim, the thing is, like we said, there's somebody had to, and that especially with the mistakes coming through the defensive area, that somebody had to be, I suppose, made the example of. And again, I think even Golson getting dropped, he would have respected the manager's decision. Now, granted, Clement's made it clear that it's purely just to rest him and stuff like that, but I think as us, as fans, we respect the decision because we could see a guy that was probably, if he was tired or whatever, then he was needing that rest.
Yeah, 100%. Clement said maybe he, again, is it well educated up, but he was saying he was planning on doing it and he noticed he contributed a lot. He's not old, but he's not the spring chicken he was when he joined us. And he's to be fair to Golson, he's always consistently played a lot of games and he's never injured. Well, he's obviously took big injuries, but not like this Ben Davies, who just seems to always have something. He's a professional Golson, you can't knock him, but unfortunately his performances have not been up to scratch. And, the team's been poor and he's been a big contributor to that. And Balogun, every time he's come in, has done absolutely fine and fair play. I think it's one of them. We're praising the manager, we all have, but I also think it was a free hit because no one could deny that someone in that back four deserved to be dropped, and it was probably Golson. If you like, because unless you're going to move Tav out of position to put Sterling there, because we need a cover at left back, because obviously Barisic just tapped out, hasn't he? So probably Golson was the only one that could be dropped from that back four.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. AK, you touched on Ridvan, possibility that he could come back into the defence. Would you go with what was? Would you go with the same back line again this weekend? If for talking seats Ridvan doesn't make it, would you stick with Balogun in that defensive area?
If Ridvan doesn't make it, GB, yeah, I would go with the same back line. It's obviously. See, the thing about Ridvan is conflicting a wee bit with what Clement said a couple of weeks ago. I think his presser said he was days away from coming back into the team in no weeks. I mean, that was 2 weeks ago, and I think it's 4 or 5 weeks for he actually had his injury. So it's a wee bit of concern that we're not actually starting to see Ridvan in the squad, even on the bench, and getting some kind of game time there. But as long as he's unavailable for team selection, I'm with JIN. I don't think we can trust Barisic for that left back role. So yeah, I would go with the same back line for Sunday.
Yep, James, same question to you. Would you go with Balogun again, and obviously Big Sterling at the left back?
Yeah, I'd go with Balogun again. Definitely, I think he'll start there. The only thing is, you wonder if Clement might use the couple of errors from Suter to maybe bring Golson back in. I don't think he should. I'm just wondering, it's that, he's your vice captain, he's a leader. Might claim that Suter needs a rest. You don't know. But I think Balogun, if fit, 100% Balogun, Tav and Sterling will be in the back four. And then it'll be interesting to see what he does with the Suter-Golson situation.
100%. We've actually got a wee question that's came in. Will the inexperience cost us in the title race, or can we overcome this? Thoughts on that one, AK?
I just knew you were going to come to me first. Thanks for that.
I can jump to Jaya if you want.
No, or you could answer it yourself.
No, well, inexperience. I don't know. I think there's plenty. I mean, there is a couple of young boys kicking about in it, but I think there's enough there that if they just apply themselves, AK, I think we can do this. I think honestly that we've shown we can beat top teams in if we can't handle what's in our league, then I says maybe we're no good enough. But I think with the 6 games left, we know what's in front of us now. Sometimes this team, when the gauntlet's laid down to them, this is when they seem to shine. So for me, six cup finals, just go and grab it for me.
I would certainly the opportunities there, GB. There's no doubt about that. It's just up to the attitude, application, the belief within the squad. You know, Clement's been over the course, myself winning a couple of league titles in Belgium. Obviously, we've got Tavernier, Golson. You've got Ryan Jack, who's no part of the team but part of the squad. Kemar Roof, Scott Wright, was he involved? There's no many of them there. So as a pertinent question being asked, there's experience here with Butland and Dessers, but they haven't really won anything. They said that Jermaine Defoe came and he hadn't won a league title or that before he came to us. I think it's better having it in your locker is no having it in your locker, put it that way. But it's up to the players. Make new memories, make new experiences, and put the numbers on the board, and then you can say at the end of the season, we do have that in our locker to fall back on in the future years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. JM, yeah, your thoughts on the question as well, mate? Just about experience and where do you see the team going with these 6 games?
If this doesn't go well in the 6 games, I think it'll be our most experienced players that are at fault, not the inexperienced. I don't think the inexperienced have let us down as much as the experienced players. That's as far and as negative, and I want to go on that, considering we still have potentially 6 cup finals and we can win it. I don't want to go too much into it, but I think it'll be our bar one. It'll be the senior players that have let us down.
I think we might go into it because in the second half I'm going to ask the 2 of you about the squad and who like realistically do you see Clement keeping? So let's just get that wee brain thinking, Jay.
Yeah. Oh no, it's there, but we've got 6 games left yet, haven't we? But it'll be no. I think that there are a lot of young players and forwards and that in different styles, but where especially from where our experienced sort of players are. They are, and where we've been at fault, I think it's more maybe them that have not consistently helped us throughout the season compared to the inexperienced players.
Mm-hmm. No. AK, is there a wee bit of risk us as fans don't get a wee bit blindsided with the weekend as well? I mean, there was kind of shaky moments and maybe better teams maybe put some of Hearts' chances away. To game of football, there's obviously ifs, buts and maybes involved in it, but again, these next 6 games are going to tell us about the squad, I think, and where their kind of futures lie as well, because they've all got to stand up. Granted, there's a few of them that's on long contracts, so we'll all see them next season. But as JM touched on there, I think a lot of the senior leadership team have got to grab it by the cojones and go for it.
Aye, absolutely, mate. I mean, you're professional football players, aren't they? They're at a big club. They're at a club that expects to win. We've won a hell of a lot of honours over the years to justify that. They know how big the club is, but now they know the expectation that's placed upon them. That's why they're at our club, and they know the expectancy of the crowd as well. So you need to embrace that, Gary. There's no point in being fearful at it. The challenge ahead. Go there and prove why you're at our club and why you're on the wages that you're on, because these guys are getting paid tens of thousands a week, to produce results, to win trophies for our club, and to play under Clement. That's the platform that we give these guys. So they've already won 1 trophy this year. There's still a treble at stake there. I mean, mathematically, it is still possible. We're only 3 points behind. We've got another Scottish Cup final to look forward to. So go and embrace it. Don't be fearful of the challenge. And I just love us to go there and, set a marker down our first couple of games and go to Celtic Park with intent, because pressure can do funny things to even, the best of players, Gary. You put players, teams under pressure, they can fold. We've had a rocky part under Clement, probably the first kind of time in his period at his Bears. They've had theirs, so it's no who handles it best, basically.
Aye. JM, in fact, we're nearly 15 minutes to the tune now, so let's say come and join us, 0141 356 1972. Give us your points, let's say, on the team, current squad. This is the game at the weekend. How's your feeling about the kind of running? JM, the squad, let's say, is shown in moments, even let's say you go back to like Tav, Golson, Roof and stuff like that, winning 55, the run at Seville, as AK touches on, we've already got a trophy in the bag and stuff like that. So there's moments there that says the team can show that they are the best team in the country. So I know that says, where do you think these last few games have came from? Can you put your finger on it?
It just maybe is. It is maybe going back to the opposite. It is just maybe that lack of ever having a this squad of players, Emily, these ones you talk about, if you like, probably now Tavernier, Golson, Barisic, they've not had consistent years of consistent title races. They've either been well off the mark or the 55 season. Let's be honest, it was the equivalent of us. There was no competition again. So there has been, like AK said, there's never been that pressure either way, and pressure does do funny things to people, and they've not seen it, and they've also not realised that, for example, when the Ross County result happens, them things happen. The best Rangers teams have always lost games of football and will always continue to, but you've got to go and win the next game. You can't let it become a run, and maybe that's just what happened. The team is not realising quickly that every drop of point isn't a complete failure or it isn't the end of the world, and they're getting too high when they're winning well and probably a little bit too low when they've lost a game, because obviously in a normal season you're going to drop points.
AK, do you think maybe, I'm not saying pitches go anything bearing on the result, but I noticed with like Hampden, we had a lot of space to run it and get the ball. Like Cantwell seemed to have a wee bit more freedom. Was it just maybe our setup, or do you think in these type parts we just need to learn to be better? I mean, like say Ross County and Dundee, it seemed to be dead congested in it, and whereas in Hampden, his Hearts, it looked as though we had all the space in the world.
Nah, I don't go with that, GB. I kind of know what you're saying. Obviously, Hampden's a better surface to play on than Dens Park and other ones in the League, St John's, St Mirren. They're not the best of surfaces, but the heart, the desire, the character within the players, that's what wins matches. That's why we have these sort of guys in the team. We've had generations of guys who roll up the sleeves, and you don't hide away for the challenge ahead. They pick themselves up, they dust themselves down and get tore into the next one. I think it's more to do with the character, the wacky, desire in there. They were just missing that. And if you're no matching the effort and everything that you're putting in with the opposition, if they're taking the game to you, then that's where your players become a wee bit flustered. So they need to show better than what they're doing. They need to have better characters within the team, and that's where we have came unstuck the last few seasons, in particular. But the players have got us into this rut. It's up to the players to get us back out it, and obviously come on leading the line.
Yep, agree. Oh, I think we've been joined by a caller. Hi, it's Joanna. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you loud and clear. How are we doing? What's your thoughts for tonight?
To be honest, I wanted just to say hello because I haven't been on for quite a while, so just wanted to say hello to everyone. I didn't know that I was going to get the call back. How are you anyways? Did you enjoy the game?
Yep, well, it's like AK touched on. We always enjoy going to a final, AK, yeah?
Oh, sorry, I was just typing something there. I was going to say, is that yourself, JM, the housewife's favourite then, with the sound there?
It's not me, I think. It's not me.
Aye, we're looking forward to the cup final, Joanna. So yeah, you got the scarf looked at the team shirt. team shirt on and ready to go for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's only 6 games left, so we should be good for them, I think. I do. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, aye, loud and clear.
I just wanted to say that I really like Cantwell game. I know that Dessers won the man of the match, and well deserved to Dessers as well. He doesn't get praise enough, but Cantwell and Balogun, what a great job they did for that, and they look more of a team as well, and playing together in the front line. So it was nice to watch.
And Jim, if you want to come in this, mate, I think we touched on it earlier. It would have been easy for Todd Cantwell to spit the dummy out this season, but he keeps coming back. He takes on board with what I say our current manager's been saying to him, and again, we seem to get these performances out of him where he drives the team on. And I just think we need to build a wee bit of the team round about a boy like Cantwell, because he's just his vision sometimes. Even when he was saying about the Dessers second goal, he knew and he said that he was going to take the shot, but he wanted to be unselfish and he squared it to Dessers. But again, the boy just kind of can find spaces, because there was like about 3 players running about him for that chance, and he still was able to get the ball at his feet and pass it to Dessers. He's a vital player for us, I think.
Yeah, 100% he is. And I think for Cantwell, this is where you need the spine of the team to be playing well, because the problem is if you're not getting them into the game and they do lose the ball, everyone goes, they've not done much because they haven't been given the ball. But that's where sort of your centre-backs and your 2 holding midfielders, if we do play them, they've got to keep feeding the ball and we've got to keep getting the ball to him. That's the point. If we're not getting the ball to him, Cantwell doesn't hide, he gets involved. So, it's a responsibility of your spine of the team to get the ball to your flair players. And Dessers done well, and I must admit Joanna's spot on with Dessers as well. I know Joanna always defends Dessers a lot, so she'll be happy he got a couple of goals.
And I will keep defending him. So hopefully he keeps producing the goals for the team.
Aye, of course. Joanna, what I say is that he's shown this season in moments where, I can even remember the league game against St Mirren. It was a sticky game and he got us a goal that won the match. And I think just sometimes in the bigger games or the more important games, we just want him to be that guy that gets us either the win or the trophy. We need him to. I know Clemont's touched on it before where he sees a striker doing more than scoring goals, but I don't know, with the amount of chances he's had this season, we weren't the numbers up a wee bit.
Is that for me?
Yeah, of course, aye.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I do like for the striker to score all the goals. Obviously, he wants to score, but as well, I want other players to shine as well, and I'm sure that he I think he mentioned that in the last interview he did, that he doesn't really care who scores the goals. Obviously, he's a striker and he wants to score goals and he wants to play and get minutes and stuff. But I also want to see Cantwell scoring goals and even Tavernier and scoring penalties, and Sutar goal, the last goal he scored, the header. For me, that was a howler. I was screaming in the living room when I saw that goal. So yeah, I like to see, as long as it's Rangers scoring goals, I'm happy.
Yeah, of course. AK, you want to come in, mate?
I just picking up on your point there, JB. Do you know what I think about Dessers? And it might be a wee bit unfair as us as a support. She's big chance that he had at Celtic Park when he's running through 1-on-1. I mean, days after he done pretty much the same move. Was it Benfica? Was it Real Betis? I think it was Betis, in fact, wasn't it? Aye. When he missed that one, a wee too quick to judge him then. Was that him finished with a lot of support there and then, because we're susceptible to, make quick snap judgments about players. I mean, how many times did Morelos have a great opportunity to score, and that kind of haunted him for not just months, it haunted him for years. and how long did it take Morelos to make his breakthrough against them? That might be a bit of the fact. If he scores that day at Celtic Park, I don't think he's getting anywhere near the criticism he is what he is now off the Rangers support. But that's only my opinion.
No, John Ake makes a good point, and let's face it, it's only been really Dessers that's been fit and available. The guy has been fit and available. He's been hardly injured this season. He's been our only main striker that's been able to go in the park and try and dig us out a hole, I suppose. You mean? And as Ake touches on, maybe I think sometimes it's just sometimes the glaring chances, Joanna, that maybe upsets the support a wee bit. But yet, he seems to score the harder ones. Like, say, at the weekend there, he has to get it back on his left twice to put the ball away, and he's calm and composed about it. But yet, sometimes when he's, as AK says, when he's kind of bearing down and goal 1-on-1, he seems to fluff it. I think that's the ones, if he can get the aim out of his game, then I think he'll go on to be a great striker for Rangers.
I agree. I think I see Dessers with the T-shirt signing and stuff like that. I think that's going to happen. He's a goal scorer. There's a reason he came here to Rangers. He's a goal scorer, and it's good because we criticize Cantwell because he's a flair player, but then we have Dessers, which is the opposite, and it's just what it is. It's what we have, and I think it's good enough. It's good. Probably a lot of people don't agree with me, but as I said, as long as he scores the goals, I'm happy.
Yep. Jai, the manager has touched on it about how he's not been able to kind of rest Dessers to keep him fresh and keep him, obviously, like I say, coming into the games to be alert and maybe put away these chances that we are kind of moaning about that he doesn't put away. Do you think, like I says, maybe next season when he's got maybe more players pushing him, again, he'll just keep that kind of clinicalness?
Yeah, I think that helps. Competition is probably always good, keeps you sharp because footballers do want to be playing, and if they're aware there's somebody behind them looking to take the shirt, it probably does have an edge. Fortunately, never been in that position to know what it's like, but I'm sure, if you've got competition pushing you, it would drive you on. But and he did take, and to be fair, I think he got a bad bit of that. Let's be honest. We've done a bad bit of business, sort of the back end. What would that be? 18 months ago, getting that guy in and letting him pick a team, and the whole squad was getting stick, and the team was awful, wasn't it? And he was obviously a new signing, and he did miss a lot of chances at the start, and he was obviously one of the ones. But it shows some character to bounce back the way he has to keep going. And when you hear him speak, what a nice guy. So I really does hope he does do well and continues to contribute. But you've got to get him some help, whether that be Danilo getting fit, and if it's them two, if we go and sign another and you've got three of them bouncing. But the guy needs help because you need to be able to take people out of the fire when they're maybe not doing well and he hasn't had the opportunity to rest.
Joanna, you make a good point though, and it is, we're coming quickly up to the tune, so we'll probably take this point into after the tune as well. But the rest of the team need to chip in. It can't be always Tav and the pressure on Dessers and Cantwell. The rest of the team, like I says, need to contribute as well. And I think, as Ake touched on earlier, that left and right hand side, it needs to be addressed, and we need to get players running down the wings that are going to, I says, help the team score, because it was probably one of the biggest things during 55 that we were good at, that we were able to get down the left and right hand side and get balls in, and that was helping us get the goals that was needed to win certain matches.
Yeah, I agree with that. But is it Cortez that is injured as well? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to be fair, after those two games, 1-0 and then the loss with Ross County, I think they look much better against Hearts and playing as a team. The dynamic between the team looks much better, and the relationship between Cantwell and Dessers looked way much better. And I think that's important when you want to compete in a game, because you need the team to be to be like, to know what they're doing and be there for each other, because that's why they score a goal, and that's how you score a goal, when the team is there for each other, you know, because one is able to take the tackles, to make the pass, and boom, to score the goal. So I think the team looked really, really strong in that performance. So maybe it's not ideal to have so many players injured, but they did very, very well within the circumstances. So, yeah, fair play to them.
Yep. Right, we're at that time of the night, and it's time for Fox to have his wee tune. So everybody get yourself mute, because we're going to have a tune.
All along the walls of the Ibrox halls are pictures of legends of old, making history for the world to see. The stories of glories unfold. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever, and for always. We are Rangers through and through. Well, the legends come and the legends go, but Rangers live on just the same. For a new one's born when the blue shirts won, and we all remember their name. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever, and for always. We are Rangers through and through. And there is no doubt what we're all about when we face the world and say, bring it on some more, 'cause you know for sure that we don't do walk away. We don't do walk away. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever, and for always. We are Rangers through and through. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever, and for always. We are Rangers through and through.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. Everybody back, aye?
Yep.
Good stuff. Aye, Joanna, like you says, I'll take that wee point around the boys. Come yourself first, JM. The team, well, the rest of the forwards need to contribute to the team. It can't let us just be left to Dessers and technically our captain all the time. It's, again, maybe the responsibility needs to get passed about, because I think they touched on it last night. It's always Tav taking free kicks. It's always Tav taking corners. Maybe it's time for other players to try and step up and create something different for us.
Yes, no secret. People have got to pitch him in numbers. Obviously, we've had it at different times. Obviously, Seema before his injury, he's still got a decent return, really, considering the amount of games he's played. Matondos came a few times off the bench and scored goals. Cantwell with assists, went on a bit of run, but just not all done it together for a consistent amount of time from all areas of the pitch. Tavernier's done his bit, but we're also not putting away, typically, I don't know the average, but you're looking for your centre half, so maybe pop up with half a dozen goals between them or something as well from corners. And we haven't carried that threat from a long time either, have we? So, yeah, there's we could definitely help take the pressure off Dessers. But I agree with Joanna. I would like to see the stats, not how many times, but Cantwell and Dessers have got quite a few sort of goals and assists, would have helped each other out. So maybe that could be a good partnership going into the running.
Okay, you've mentioned about the corners before and stuff like that. Is it, like it says, it's not just down to two players in a team to score goals. It's down to the forwards. It's down to some in the midfield to chip in with goals and all.
It is, and it's the variety of corners that we could improve on as well. GB, I mean, I'm quite kind of anorak when it comes to stats and stuff. I look at other teams and how many goals. You'd be surprised at how few teams actually score off the corners in the first place. But when you're getting the amount that we're getting and you're getting the poor return that we're getting, you've got to kind of question, can we do things different? Can we do things better? Can we, Tavernier could get took off at delivery, for instance. He might be more of a threat actually in the box. I'm at the kind of age where used to have, like, say, Davy Cooper or Brian Laudrup or that, a kind of winger, putting in the ball. You'd be looking for your big centre halves to come up. But you've also got guys in the edge of the box there that an Ian Ferguson or that, could strike at the edge of the box, would score many goals like that. I think it's just we've become too predictable, so to speak, and we're not really a threat. Relying just on goals and Suter, Big Balogun, I think, is more a threat than they two. But I think Lundstrom could also be a threat there. Sometimes Southside actually noticed that when he's actually holding himself back to be that kind of guy in case we get broke on. I mean, use your height. Dessers is over 6 foot. I mean, when do you see him up in an aerial challenge? You don't really. So I think we've just got to utilise our attributes a bit better than what we're doing.
Great. Joanna, you want to come in on that?
I just missed Ryan Jack. I just want to say, and players like Fashion Sakala as well. He was. I know that he got a lot of criticism, but I miss those type of players there. But I don't think there's so much time or to be missing anybody or remembering much about how good of a player someone was when at this point they couldn't be playing anyway because they're not fit for playing anymore. So I think we should be looking forward. I mean, it's fine to remember the good players and obviously to obviously not forget them and give them praise, but we need to move forward and look for solutions. And I think we need to take every opportunity to find good players and see what the team is needing and find the right solutions for the positions in the team. And obviously that's a job not for me. That's the director of football is doing this job along with Philippe Clement. So.
No, but it's Joanna. It's a good discussion to have as well because I think even AK is touching on it about the do we need to try and get younger players in? I think we'll go to yourself, Jai, and we'll touch on it that the current squad. Who realistically do you think that we're going to see next season? And obviously the boys that are out of contract, so probably easier starting with the ones that are out of contract. I would imagine Jack, Lundstrom, Balogun is out of contract as well. So we'll kind of start off in that area. Ryan Jack, definitely away for you, Jim.
Yeah, he's a goner, isn't he? Yeah, he's a goner. He's not even mentioned anymore, is he? Not even mentioned anymore. Yeah, he's gone. Shame, good player, but never got fit for us, did he? Unfortunately, few different things. Be interested to see how Rangers fans reflect on him after he's done, but never really got going for us, did he? Unfortunately,
no. AK, you were coming in there with Roof, I think, as well, you're saying?
Yeah, he's on that list. His contract's coming to an end. You know, John McLaughlin is the same. Just try to think of the other ones. You mentioned them. And we've got loads of loan players as well. It doesn't look like a proper squad to go forward with, because we've got too many guys. Their contracts are running out in a kind of similar period of time, so we're always looking to basically have a half rebuild. You know, all of a sudden you're talking about 10, 11, 12 players in the current squad that we've got now we're having to replace to go forward for next season. And if we can avoid that sort of number of players, GB, going forward, then I think that's a good thing for the manager, to get some sort of stability in the squad more than anything. But no, my initial comment was the kind of age of the players. What we got? Lundstrom, who's now 30, Golson 31, Tavernier 32, Dessers is 29. I think we should be looking to reduce our kind of age of the squad down to like mid-20s, even 26, 27, 28. If you've got guys running about that sort of age, and also integrate the B team guys, then I think that's probably maybe a benefit going forward.
Aye. Well, let's make it easier. Right? Everybody stay off their mute button now, and we'll just go yes or no, right? So we'll go with the team that was at the weekend. Do we honestly see Butland there next season? You go first,
hopefully. As long as no one comes in for him, then yeah. As long as no one comes into the, yeah, he's the mainstay.
Yes, for me.
Right, yes. AK?
I would say I'd love to see Jack Butland there, but I think if we get a bid in £10-15 million, I think he'll go.
So you want to sell Butland, AK?
No, I don't want to sell Butland, but I think we'll utilise that cash to maybe improve the squad.
And then have a bad goalkeeper.
Maybe no, maybe. We'll see.
We might have to go for whoever Clement thinks, but that's we're only getting their opinion, and they'll try to keep a yes no for now on though.
No, you're fine. We'll come back. Don't worry.
You two aren't playing the game here. I'm just here ready to say yes and no.
Hold that thought with Butland. We'll come back to that because we can make a wee discussion about that. So Tavernier, rumours about him with the Saudi stuff and all that, but do we see him there next season? Yes or no? JM?
Yes.
AK?
No.
Oh, okay. Joanna?
Yes, he's not going to Saudi Arabia. He needs, if it's Saudi Arabia, he needs to stay.
Okay. Suter, John Suter, AK.
You're not getting away with this. What's your opinions? First two, Butland and Tav.
Butland and Tav is a yes and a yes. I think they'll be here.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
What's the next one you said again?
John Suter.
Suter. Yes.
Yes.
I think we could improve.
If the other two, JB, propose to actually play the game properly, can I propose doing it slightly differently? Can we do yes if we think and yes or no if we want them there?
Okay, I add that in.
If Joanna and AK,
45 minutes.
Yeah, if Joanna and
45 minutes left.
What?
If they accept that it's a yes/no game, and then discuss.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Right. No hassles. Right. Right. Suter. Joanna. Suter. Yes.
Yes.
Right. JM. Suter.
Yes and yes.
Okay. Balogun. AK.
Yeah, I would keep Balogun. Yep.
Good too. Choice. JM.
I would keep him, but I don't think he'll be there.
Okay. Sterling. JM.
Yes.
Joanna.
Yes.
AK.
A resounding yes. And you're still not answering, JB.
I'm
That's right.
trying to get through them so we can get on to the next points. I'll talk about it at the end once we pick up certain players. Right, Lundstrom, big talking point. AK.
Oh,
No.
Okay, Joanna.
no.
And JM.
Nope.
And the people in the social chats, you can interact with us as well. I'll get Old School Blue to keep a wee eye on it as well. Right. Dio Monday. AK.
Yes.
Joanna.
Yes, he has an obligation to buy.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep. 0.3 million, I believe.
So was Tillman.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. So was Tillman, so things can change, but I hope we do see him. So that's a 3 yeses, right? Cantwell, JM.
Yep.
Joanna.
Yes.
And AK.
Cantwell, yes.
Good stuff. Right, come back to you, AK. Matondo.
No.
Joanna.
No.
JM.
No.
Sorry, if you're listening.
Right, here's a good one. JM, Sima.
Oh.
No.
Joanna.
No.
And AK.
Yes, I would love to buy Seema.
Mm-hmm. Aye, so would I. Right, big man at the talking point. Dessers, AK.
No.
Joanna.
I mean, who else would you? Daniel is out for. It's a yes for me, obviously.
Okay. JM.
Yep.
Okay. Good choice. Right, we're on to taking the subs for the weekend. So McCrory. Joanna.
Yes.
JM.
Yep.
And AK.
McCrory, did you say? No,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the young man moved on.
I think the same. I think he'll look for a move in the summer. It'll be a B team keeper. Will probably come up. Uh-huh.
So you're thinking about selling Butland, and then also McCrory's leaving.
No, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to the discussion on the keepers.
Okay.
We'll see what, because that seems to be a wee talking point. Right, we'll go Golson, AK.
No.
Joanna.
Can you ask? Okay, it's a yes
right, okay.
for me.
Yep, he'll be there
Right.
next year.
Right.
Back to you.
Joanna, this is an easier one for you, Joanna. Silva.
Oh. No.
AK.
Hi ho Silver. Jerry O Silver.
JM.
Could it pay us 35 million to take him? No. Never.
Right, JM, here's a good one. Lawrence, Tom Lawrence.
No, unfortunately.
Joanna.
Yes.
And AK.
Yes, I would keep Lawrence if we could.
Okay. Another talking point. AK Dowell.
No, for me.
Joanna?
Yes, for me.
JM?
Yeah, I'd keep him. I'd keep him about considering the contract for now.
Okay. JM, Ruth?
No, unfortunately. Bad bit of luck, but no.
Joanna?
No, sorry.
No. AK?
Nope. Doesn't play enough.
Right. Barisic, JM, I think he's kind of already announced that he's kind of away, so I'll probably
It's the
say
most
he's definitely away.
official thing, and I think he's a goner. He's a goner, isn't he? You know, unfortunately, maybe the last year or so, like maybe the Kent hangover, unfortunately not, but all in all, considering the level we're at when we got him, wish nothing born or anything but the best, to be honest. You know, few questions, but no, he won't be there, but no.
No. Joanna, your thoughts?
Banana.
No. And AK?
Unfortunately, no. Running scores.
Raskin, AK?
Oh, Raskin. It depends. Lundstrom, I've got Lundstrom going, so yeah, I would keep Raskin.
Right. Joanna?
Yes.
Okay. And JM?
Yeah, he'll be about.
Okay. And one of the last sub for the weekend, McCausland, Joanna?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. AK?
Young lad for Northern Ireland. 100% yes. Need blue noses in the team, GB.
Mm-hmm. JM?
He'll be a Rangers player next year, but I don't think we'll see a lot of him.
Good. Another talking point. Yeah. Right. Thanks very much for that. So, there's a couple of players there that were kind of ifs, buts, and maybes. I think the biggest one that came out of that was the goalkeeping situation. So, I'll come back to yourself, Joanna, first with it. Then, I think AK is kind of making the point that I suppose it depends on how the title goes, because we're looking at it, if we get the title, then we're getting a kind of windfall for the Champions League as well. So that could help us maybe keep a hold of a player. But I get where AK's coming from. If we don't get the title, then Commons need to strengthen their squad. So could it be a possibility that Butland gets sold, Joanna?
But that's my point. Even if we don't win it, you don't know how it's going to go, right? But if you win it, you need a stronger team. But if you lose it, you also need a stronger team, because you cannot weaken make your team weaker just because you lose a title, because you're still in the wrong for the next season. So if you sell Butland for whatever money you want to ask for him, sorry, my phone went on there. What you're going to do, you're going to get a different goalkeeper that you don't know if it's the right quality or it is. I just don't want to take chances, especially if McCrory's leaving as well. So I don't see the point of selling Butland personally.
Okay. AK, come back to yourself, mate, because we're obviously bringing up the point in Butland with an offer and stuff like that. My worry is that the manager was saying in January, when he was in that thing with Souness, he was saying that he had zero cash to spend in the January transfer window, and he had to dip into some of the summer budget to get even, like say, Diamondi in and Cortez. I'm kind of with you, mate. I think if there's a decent offer comes in, we'll need to use that money to strengthen the squad.
Yeah, it's not just the wages that these guys are on. We've spoken about it numerous times on the show. 64 million a club wage bill. I mean, that's not all the first team, but a good part of that probably is. We don't know the individual numbers that these guys are on, but I would imagine Jack Butland coming for the English Premiership, he'll be on a fair wage. He's already a multi-millionaire, right enough, so that's no what's driving him. He wants game time. We've gave him game time. We've gave him the platform, but we're a business at the end of the day. And I think we've missed the boat with too many kind of assets where we've no cashed in. We probably should have cashed in. We've let Kent and Morelos go for nothing. Kamara has went for a decent amount considering we got him. Who knows, we could have got something for Golson rather than giving him a 4-year deal on another hefty wage, and we could have got something for Tavernier, 3-4 years ago when he was getting exposure in Europe. So I think we've got to be more diligent in the business that we're doing, and that's where I'm coming from. And if Butland does go, I don't think Clermont wants a young boy that's been at our club for in excess of 10, 15 years. I think he needs his own players in there, and I think he'll go and get his own keeper. That's what I think.
Jim, you want to come in on that one with Burton, Sale, and even Robbie to a certain extent as well?
Yeah, sure. I see both points. I can see Joanna's point. We've got a good goalkeeper there. Why would you want to? It's probably one of our only positions we can say we're absolutely 100% comfortable with it. But at the same time, I think maybe, I don't know if it's as simple as this, I'm no businessman, but they must have maybe in their head a ballpark figure if it came in, and that could strengthen a number of positions. And it might be Robbie, or it might be another goalkeeper, and they'll do the maths and go, we can maybe, I don't know, lower our keeper by 5%, 10%, but we'll strengthen our team around the pitch. It's all stuff. That's why the director of football's there. That's why the manager's there. And I agree with AK that we need to be sensible and not miss on the boat. We've probably, I wouldn't like to add up the millions. We've probably lost on, maybe not being sharp on the free transfers and not cashing in at the right time. And we can't afford to keep doing that, really. It'd be interesting, but if it wasn't money and if I was playing Football Manager, there'd be no way in hell I'd be selling Jack Butland for any price. But unfortunately, it's not how it works.
Joanna, how do you think we're positioned then with Sales? Do you think we've got the capability to hold on to a Jack Butland no matter what comes our way?
I understand the business part of selling Jack Butland and the money that we'll get for him and everything, but I just feel like a goalkeeper is an essential part of the team. So McCrory, I like Robbie. I actually do like him, but then we only be left with McCrory and what's the name of the other guy? Oh. What's the name of the other guy?
McLaughlin, and he's even he never contract.
He never even plays. So I don't know. I don't know.
AK, could there be an opportunity there though where we offload our 2 backup goalkeepers and that allows us to keep Butland to a certain extent?
Aye, well, you're going to lose McLaughlin anyway. Joanna's right. He's not featured at all, I don't know what wage they guys will be on, but Butland's your main man. He's getting paid the big bucks, so he's a massive role in the team. Potentially our player of the season this year as well. If we go into, I think you made a good point, GB, if you go into win the league, then the numbers could stack up where we can keep Jack Butland. He's going to get the opportunity to play Champions League football. That might, serve his purpose to be at our club. And because I think the England factor is irking him a wee bit, because there's an opportunity there where he could have broke into the England team, but he doesn't seem to be getting a chance at all because he's playing in our league. So he probably still feels a wee bit, I could do something down there in that English Premiership, but your kind of happiness comes into it as well, the platform that you're playing on. Champions League's a big thing for players these days as well as their own wages. So if he's happy and content and we've won a treble there, then I think Butland might stay. But if they come in with a big bid or that firm, money talks, mate. It doesn't matter who you are. So it's an interesting one where we go on this.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, carry on.
Is Butland getting any wages? Because I thought he was a free transfer.
Yeah, he was a free transfer. Yeah, but you'll be on a good wage. I think Butland will probably own, I would be guessing, about 30-35k a week.
Yeah, that typically means you're on more money, Joanna, because you normally, if they're a free transfer, it means they're a free agent, which means basically you'd have to pay a transfer fee for them. So normally their agents,
Yeah, I was
they
going
get
to say that.
more
Yeah.
money.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll definitely be on a good whack.
He probably got the signing on fee as well, Joanna. You know what I mean? So they probably diluted down what we give him a week, but he would have probably got a fee for joining, I would imagine. I think that's the way it used to go, that if you signed a free transfer, as much as you think you're not paying a transfer, you're probably having to pay something to him, and then you pay. I think that happened with Lundstrom, JM, didn't it? When we got Lundstrom, he was on a high wage, but we gave him an initial joining fee, and then, like I says, his wages kind of went in par with the average wage of our top earners at Ibrox.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, if he can stay fit, the free agent is definitely a way to go in football, isn't it? If he can stay fit.
Ake, do you think that's an area where we need to try and move away from? Do you think Clermont's more a guy that will go out and look for, like I says, these gems like Diamande? And I'm hoping, like I says, our director of football coming for the league that he's came for, that he's got an eye for a player as well.
Aye. Well, Ross Wilson came to the club on the back of that, the player trading model, he called it. But yeah, if we can pick up guys early 20s, mid 20s, get them up to speed and on the get them winning for us basically, as well as the exposure that European gives them, then hopefully we get the bigger money coming in for these sort of players. That's what FITBA is generally all about. But if they're successful for us and they move on for big money, then that generates, gives us cash to go out there and get the next so-called superstar. But I'm a wee bit like Port bearing that. I would like to see us using the Scottish market a wee bit more. I think we've lost our identity a wee bit for me. We're no getting, with Scottish players that are robust to our league, that's available all the time, that knows where they're going, they know the surfaces they're going to be playing on, they know the teams they're going to be facing. I think you have to have that kind of spine still in the team to move forward, and I think we've lost that over the last 5-6 years for me. So I'd like to see us go back to the Scottish market a wee bit more.
JM, as AK says, the Scottish market, I would say this season, striker-wise, the weekend there we've seen Aberdeen and Hearts bring two good strikers that have been scoring goals this season. And in years gone by, like AK says, a Waltersmith would have snapped the two of them up probably in a January window.
Yeah, I've been disappointed. That's one thing I've been disappointed with us over the years. I think we've been arrogant, and to be honest, just considering the amount of money we've been spending, considering what we could have got for players. Obviously, they don't always work out, but when you look at the obvious ones versus Ferguson, is it the boy Doig? There's others out there, and again, that's being out and not looking, but there's players there to get players that know the league, get the right ones, players that want to play for Rangers. Sometimes you look in that team and you go, sometimes we're lucky to get a Scottish bloke in it, never mind a Rangers supporter. And it's not essential, but it definitely helps to have a couple in there to understand what it means, especially this time of the year. And I think AK's spot on. We need to try and slowly get back to that. I'm not saying it needs to be 11 blue noses in there, but you need something in there. You need something in there, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it was a good talking point, so it'd be good to hear from you. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Joanna, you've spoke highly Shankland when it was that kind of January transfer window. What's your thoughts on him after the weekend?
He looked a bit slow, to be honest, but that game was for us to win, so I can't complain. But I agree with AK regarding the team needing more identity in the team. So I agree with getting more players shopping in a different market. I agree with that, and I see where he's coming from as well. I think I mentioned that, and that was one of the points that I made regarding buying Shankland, that it will make the team look more, have more identity in the team, and that's why I wanted Shankland. But taking all of your points, that getting younger players in, and apparently that's what Clement's like, I don't think Shankland is the answer. Maybe we should give the young generation an opportunity to play in the first team, guys from the B team, and also looking at other players as well. I don't know. That's probably, as you guys mentioned, a job for the director of football.
Kate, I mean, Shankland obviously is a thing that never goes away, and he obviously is in our league, can score goals. But as you touched on earlier about the age thing, when we look at our squad now, probably granted Dessers could be here because he's contract next season. We've got Danilo coming back for injury. He's on a long contract as well. So I think the manager will maybe look at somebody either from his past or, let's say, as you've touched on, another younger striker.
Possibly. It's stuff that they're going to speak about at the end of the season. Obviously, we're just surmising what they could be speaking about. I just the Shankland thing, yeah. It's his numbers are there, and it's his numbers that we want. It's a short-term fix for long-term gain, so to speak. It's just you take a risk when you're bringing in a Dessers, a Lammers, a Danilo, guys who don't know our league. They don't know the physical attributes they need to have. And just for me, it's an old-fashioned way, if you want, GB, but see when you've got Rangers supporters in the team, going to tough places like a Ross County or Dundee when the chips are down and we're really needing a result, I just feel that the supporters, you can rely on the team that wee bit more, because you've got guys shouting encouragement across to each other, and they seem to dig deeper that wee bit more than some of these foreigners who just kind of throw their arms up in the air, look for stupid fouls. You don't win games like that in Scotland. A lot of it's got to do with the character of the player, the desire, the hunger. Everything's got to be there. And I don't trust a lot of these guys that's been brought in the last few years, and I think that's been a detriment to their team.
Aye, I agree. JM, do you think the likes of a guy like Shankland for your league could be kind of the final piece of the puzzle up front? I mean, if you look at it, Daniel's, I think he's only about 20 odds. You've got Dessers, it's kind of like I say, his 30s, and then you're bringing in Shankland and his 30s. They three rotating or playing together could be, I say, a good pick for you. I mean, you've got a guy there, like Zeke says, and Shankland that can score goals maybe against the teams that we are failing in, like say Ross County and Dundee. Maybe a Shankland getting that kind of chance to kind of take us to 2-0, changes the game. I mean, that gives us the 3 points. And then Dessers pops up like the games at the weekend there in cup finals and semi-finals with more space and time on the ball. I think, like AK is saying, we've got to kind of strike a wee bit of the balance.
Yeah, 100%. I think, if you have Shankland in there, he's, what's the word? I think he's definitely more of a reliable finisher. Like you say, you get them chances, they pop up. He's going to put them away. Dessers, what did McCoy say? So I repeat, obviously, McCoy said at the weekend, Shankland expects to score, Dessers hopes to score. And that might be a little bit harsh, but maybe the difference is a bit more of a clinical finisher. And especially the home games at Ibrox, if you're making early chances, you back Shankland to make them. My one concern would be you'd be then relying heavily on Dessers in Europe. Obviously, Danilo hasn't been fit, so maybe given a chance. Obviously, what was the game at home where he scored? There was the one game, wasn't there? Was it the Prague game? Got a couple of goals. So maybe Danilo, because we haven't had a chance to see him, but it would just be the lack of pace in Europe that would concern me. But I don't think them three would be bad options.
Joanna, we spoke there about Danilo. He could score with his head, and at times again he was a bit like Dessers. He couldn't finish sometimes, but again maybe a pre-season under his belt and a new manager, we might see the best of this boy.
I hope so, JB, because I wasn't very impressed with him, to be honest. I was expecting too much from him, and I thought he was missing too many chances. In my opinion, that's just me. Maybe I don't know, but I just felt like he was more a winger than a striker. So I saw him more like a right wing or something like that, but not a striker. I don't know why, but I know everybody's going to criticize me for this, and everybody hates me already for this, but I feel more confident when Dessers is a striker. I'm sorry, guys.
No, but that's probably, Joanna, there's nothing to be sorry about. Dessers has proved that he can get in amongst the rough and tumble. But AK, I think we're going to need more up front. Joanna maybe makes a good point. That right side's still no fix for me, AK.
No, it's been a problem for a number of years. Albert's been on about it. You look at the players that we've had there, too many to choose for, but Candace, I mean, how long have we gone back here now? 6 years. Arfield seemed to fill the position for a bit. Ryan Jack filled the position for a bit. The problem now is Tavernier's getting older and they can't bomb up and down the park the way he used to. So we're kind of, it's not just a kind of right midfielder we're looking for. We're looking for a guy to basically cover near the holes that Tavernier's leaving behind him. So is that beneficial to the team going forward? I think there comes a point where somebody needs to make a decision and say, no, Tav, that's you had your term here, you've been here long enough. We need a fresh approach. And who knows? I don't know. Connor Golson comes into that bracket for me. Lundstrom comes into that bracket as well. There comes to a point where we just need to say no, fresh. Just that's you had your time and move on. But that's big decisions for the manager and the director of football to make in the summer.
JM, do you think the decisions could be made easier depending on the signings that come in? Because if, for talking sakes, we bring in another Sterling or something like that, and he's a strong centre-back, that's a boy that you can't shy away from that could be challenging for a centre-back position. And then that's when you put the pressure on the likes of a Golson, a Suter or whatever. Because I don't see Ben, we've no touched on him, but Ben Davies, we don't really see much of him. So I would imagine he's another one that's gone out the door. Balogun might get a wee extension on low wages just because he's experienced in that and he's a good backup to having maybe cup games or whatever. But it's maybe another area that we're going to have to try and strengthen in the summer.
It's a balancing act because, again, it comes down to funds, doesn't we? These guys are talking about Tavernier and Golson. They're amongst the highest earners. And obviously we are releasing a lot. We could be potentially releasing a lot of wages of some of the players going. Roof will be a big earner. Lundstrom will be a big earner. Barisic will be a decent earner, not the biggest earner on that, but a decent earner. So there's scope there, but you're not going to keep picking up maybe gems like Sterling, and you're not always going to pick up gems. So to attract people that are going to have competition, you're either going to have to spend money or you're picking up, again, free agents. And it's a tough one, isn't it? But we definitely, like you say, we need something that makes Golson and Tavernier not mainstays. I'd say more so Golson, but Tavernier's mainstays, because I think if we tweak this tactics slightly and we move the team, Tavernier could still have a part to play. But we've got to accept it's not a Tavernier of 8 years ago, even 3-4 years ago, and you can change it slightly. I don't think our tactics favour him at the moment, but definitely for Golson, we need someone that's going to maybe challenge him and show him that we can push him out of the team.
John, I think that's the thing about, like, say, as JM says there, with Tav and Golson. I think if it gets to the point where they're getting told that they're going to be backup players or they're going to have to be rotated on a bench, I could probably see them wanting to move on. I can't see them wanting to. not so much tarnish their Rangers career, but I don't see them as players, as Jaime says, on wages that they're on, happy to sit on a bench or to stay to help out every now and then. That I think when it gets to that point, you maybe see the players accepting a move away.
I don't know, because Tav is the captain, and then Golson. You have Golson, so those are the kind of like the leaders of the back line. So it's really hard to kind of picture a different player playing those positions, especially when you don't see anybody actually covering their job. Because if you see, for example, someone doing as much as them, or probably some people will criticize because Golson has some flaws, and also Tavernier has some flaws. But if you see other players doing as much and probably, I don't know, making them look that they're not doing anything, then you can be confident saying, well, we can replace them. But because you don't see that from any other players, it's really hard to replace players that are key for the team and for the squad. Because there's no even a proper squad right now. And now I feel personally more confident with, for example, Dessers and Cantwell, and I like Diomande, I like Taff. I'm not happy that Ruudman is injured, but I like Balogun Suter. So I can think of a squad, but it's really hard to pick a team and not pick Tavernier and goals. And so I feel like when there's a player that is going to make me forget about Tav and Golson, then I'll go, okay, it's time to move on. But for now, I'm not there. I'm sorry.
No, they were good points. Right, we're getting that's us into the kind of last 15 minutes. So that's as if you want to come and join us, it's 0141 356 1972. Be good to hear the points. Joanna's came in, gave us a call and making great points. So please come in and contribute to the show. AK, it's easy saying we'll just bring in signings or we'll bring in youth, but they've kind of got to match or better what we've got. And Nahum, young McCausland, he seems to have came in and he's still kind of learning his ropes. Whereas when you look at Diomande, similar ages, but he's come in and you can see that boy's already got hitting the ground running kind of thing. You can see that there's talent there. He's at kind of another level. And my worry is that we've not got the kind of youth there in the background that's able to come in and challenge and take these positions after Golson and Tav, etc.
I know what you're saying. I think a big factor of that, though, GB, is Diamande's development. He's gained first team experience playing away in, was it Denmark? I think he came from Northland. So he's been in their team, getting used to their league. He's come up against men week in, week out, and that develops him physically as well as his general play. McCausland's really only come in the last 7-8 months of the season, and he was really forced onto the managers at the time because of the injury situation. We were getting caught short, with likes of the injury with Danilo and who else was out in the right. We were getting really short for numbers, put it that way, up front. So that's a big factor. The thing about the B team thing that we've got there now, they're barely getting any games, Gary. We tried the couple of years playing in the lower leagues of Scotland, but we wanted to, progress up the leagues to improve their standard. But the rest of the Scottish clubs voted against it. So how do these boys actually get games? We either filter them internally into the team, or else we need to dish them out and look for other clubs to develop them on our behalf. We used to have a reserve league many years ago, and that was a great way of introducing younger players to the first team. We don't have that opportunity now, and I think it's a big factor in why the youngsters are getting stemmed in their development. Unless they see fit and show the desire that they want first team football, they need first team football, or else they just sit about, pick up their wage the way McCrory has. I think McCrory's been at our club for he was 7-year-old. He's now 25, Gary. 18 years he's been at our club, and he's still picking up a wage, and he's getting nowhere near the first team. So his desire needs to be questioned as a professional football player for me there.
Mm-hmm. JM, you want to come in on that, on the youth system? I think it's, again, if I was probably in that Rangers youth system now, even McKinnon, I would be next season definitely looking to try and push for a loan somewhere to try and get experience, as AK's touched on. You want to get men's football. I think it's the only way that our youth can be trusted to come in and grab a shirt off the current squad, because we're wanting titles, we're wanting trophies, we're wanting deep into European competitions. And unfortunately, like I says, as AK says, the way it's happened that the B team kind of leagues have collapsed, then we really need to look at trying to develop this, or we call it a day, because what is the point in having a youth system that we never see any guys coming through in?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's not easy to come through, by the way. You can't keep, it's not everyone's like Barcelona where you can just keep producing absolute stars or whatever. It's not easy. I mean, I'm trying to think from recent years who's actually sort of, came through, and Harden people have been in and out. If you go from Gerrard, who was the first one that got to go before Middleton got a little run, but then he never got anywhere near, did he? Then obviously Patterson never got time. We managed to sell him for big money, so that was a success. And then it's hard, isn't it? When you start going through it and actually looking at who's came through and who's got a chance in that. And you just wonder, my biggest gripe about the whole thing is, if you look at, take two examples here, Bassey and Sterling, who have come to us, and they've came ready as men built ready to play football. The guys we're bringing in aren't ready to play football. Only because McCausland's there, he still looks like a boy. McKinnon built like a boy. Lowry last year, a strong wind would blow him over. You can be as technical as you like. These blokes aren't ready to play professional football. And that's got to be questioned sort of in-house. What are we actually doing? Never mind the talent. What we're doing to prepare these guys and get them physically ready for men's football as well.
Joanna, you want to add to the youth system?
I just want to be fair to the players, because I don't think it's because most of the players have lack of desire. I think it's really hard to get to a first team. I don't think it's an issue that is only here in Rangers that has it. To get to a first team, playing with the big teams, and it's not easy. It's not easy, and sometimes we just need some kind of like a balance maybe, and just, for example, McKinnon, I like that guy. I think he looks good in the first team. And look at Ross. He's not massive, but he still has a good run and makes a good run. And then you have big guys like Tav, Dessers and stuff like that. So I think it's good to have that kind of variety in the team, because not always you're going to get the big guys playing for the first team. So I think it's just maybe the standards to play in the first team are really, really high, and for the guys to meet those standards, it's really hard. And it's not, I don't think it's for lack of effort that they have. It's just because the standards to play in the first team, they are high and hard to achieve probably for a player, especially when they're young.
I agree. AK, it's a hard balance. I honestly don't know the answer yet, because when you look at Lowry, you think when he's getting his loan move to Hearts, you're thinking, good, it's a good level for him to learn that. He'll be able to hopefully progress, and he'll be able to come back to us ready to go for the minimum to be able to play in the SPFL. But again, you've seen at times when he was there, he was benched or he didn't even make the squad, and that's the concern. Like, you need them to go to a team where they're going to develop. But again, when you've seen Lowry, can't even get my word out now, Lowry in the lower leagues, he was bossing it down there. I mean, it was too easy for him. So I don't know. What is the answer to it all?
Oh, it's not an easy answer, put it that way. I don't know. I just see a lot of the young players, not just in Scotland. I mean, you're talking worldwide football here, getting moved for big money, their own big wages. So that everything's getting laid out for them. GB, even some of them don't even need to make the first team, and they're already millionaires by the time they're 20-year-old. You know, that kind of, it's not right for me, because it kind of, how would you describe it? They're kind of pampered far too much, and they're getting everything all their own way, and they don't need. I mean, football players. Is it Gareth Bale retiring, 32? Eden Hazard, the same, all multi-millionaires. But guys of that ability, you know, retiring at that age, and then they give nothing back to football. That's where I'm coming from. You know, when you're getting everything all the time, you're at the big club, you don't need to work for your, you know, your crust, so to speak. I think it doesn't send out the right signals for me with all the youth product coming through. I mean, JM's right. When we're getting Sterling and Bassey coming up for England, you see the build of Bellingham, even at Real Madrid. 20-year-old that boy is. He's a man mountain. He's standing next to Rio Ferdinand there after the Champions League game last week. I mean, what is McCausland? 20 or no? 21 even? They're just no comparison there. So whatever we're doing, we're not doing it right. And I think it's sending out all the wrong signals. We're making all these youngsters multi-millionaires.
That's a fair point.
Jim, with all this kind of new folk coming into the youth system, directors of football, I think the new lead scout or whatever as well, it's came in. All these people, they've got to look at our youth system, and like you says, we need to look at what they're doing in a gym. We need to look at their diets. We need to improve them on the park as well, and we need to find the right base for them to learn. Which, as it stands now, I don't think as Rangers, I think we should be looking at the loan market for them and trying to progress them in teams where they will learn proper men's football.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Clermont, going back to when Clermont came in, he made it clear, didn't he? There's a lot of stuff he wants to change, and I think that went right through to the first team. That wasn't just the youth team. He didn't think we were fit enough, and hopefully there'll be a completely new culture on how all the players are looking after themselves and how we're reacting physically. And yeah, it is just finding that balance, because we're wanting to have our own youth players, but it's getting them to be first team ready, and that's a hard balance, isn't it? Because not every player is going to go out on loan. Not every team's going to want to take a Rangers player on loan just to improve them, because they know all they're doing is improving them for us. And it's hard, isn't it? And we're not the only team with the issue, are we? I think it's easy to say bring the youth players through, but we wouldn't be moaning if the money we had spent had been spent wisely and we had a good team on the pitch.
No, that's it. Right, we're getting to that time of the night, so it's got to be final thoughts. Joanna, I think it says the youth system's going to be a talking point that will ramble on, especially coming into the summer and stuff like that. But again, thank you very much for calling in, and just your final thoughts, please.
Just thank you for having me tonight. It was a pleasure.
Thanks very much for that. And AK, your final thoughts, bud?
No, thanks to Joanna for coming into the call and discussions. Well done. Thanks to yourself, JM, and the Techie team, and everybody for listening. Thanks again.
Good man. And JM, your final thoughts, bud, as well, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, everyone. Enjoyed that one tonight. It was good. So thanks to everyone. And yeah, a long time to go till Sunday. But yeah, just looking forward to it. And hopefully the start of 6 cup finals, 6 wins.
Hello to Oxen and folks in the background in Old School Blue.
Well said, Joanna. Yep, and a big thanks to yourself, Joanna. Like we said, thanks for phoning in and contributing to the show. It's much appreciated. Big thanks to the Techie team, Fox and Old School Blue in the background there looking after us tonight. Big thanks to Ox taking the calls. And big thanks to you two boys tonight. Big thanks to AK for all his points, and JM for your points as well. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, and I think we'll be joined by the other young team. Good night.